A train wrecked a spitting fire. The NFT analyzer, diving deep into projects. He's the crypto energizer. From mint coins to tokens, he's got all the intel. Web3 is a tree to show you where to excel. He's got the insights like a digital magician, unveiling secrets of the blockchain with precision. Wild stories from the web, he's always in the know. Crypto community, vibing where the treasures flow. Web3 wonders, chain reactors on the scene.
Well, it's not every day we get a show like today here on the Swarm Report. Man, Mega GMs, guys, welcome to the Swarm Report. Yo, joining us live this morning, this is a really special one. We have the head of the Virtuals ACP. It's Dawn. I don't know if it's zero. Do I do it zero? Dawn?
No, yeah, you can just call me Dawn.
Dawn, just Dawn. I love it. Head of the ACP. Dude, welcome to the show. This is like 5-ish months in the making. Connected through our team, right? Through the legend Scott, who has been working with you closely for, again, months and months and months now. And I know we've wanted to do this for a while, and, you know, it happens when it's supposed to. And here we are. So,
yeah, sure.
Appreciate
it once again.
Likewise, dude. Likewise. Guys, let's do this. Okay, I want to get your questions throughout the show. And by the way, I see all the kind comments already. People welcoming you here. It's not often you get somebody from Virtuals on these shows. It really is a special thing. And so again, all the greetings and the welcomes in the chat. Awesome to see. I want to let you guys know questions are okay throughout the show. Some things probably won't be touched and some things will. The more you put these focused on ACP and good solid questions asking about maybe vision and, you know, the process and the big ideas here, anything that's just to the point of ACP, fire those away, man. Because I think we're all excited to learn more about it, past, present, future, and it's kind of the topic of today. So any questions like that, keep them coming. But GM to all you guys, it's great to see you. Dude, even first question, it's not ACP I want to know about. I want to know about you and the team. How are you guys? Again, we don't get to see you much on these shows. You guys do the Virtuals Ventures streams, and I think I see you there, but, you know, on something like this, the community shows, not so much. So how are you guys doing? And team, how are the vibes and the spirits on your side?
The team is doing good. Honestly, we can't be more excited to actually be working on ACP, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we are actually probably the first in the world to be working on something like this. Generally, at least for the past 6 months, it's definitely been shipping nonstop. But again, when we think about that potential, I mean, maybe from a degen aspect, it's always like, hey, it's the 300x, the 1000x, or zero, right? Likewise, having the chance to really just build something like this, where it could potentially just like be the next Tesla, right, or the next Starlink, I think that's what keeps us up every day, to really just bring this to life.
Dude, I see it, and I talk about on this stream often that, look, I'm a big believer in virtuals, and I think everybody here that's watching, tuning in is, and I'm like, dude, I see this down the road. I play fantasy, right? I'm like, fantasy down the road, what's that perfect scenario? Or what do I see that's likely to happen? I'm like, when all is said and done, I see virtuals as one of the very few products that can emerge that shows that real product market fit. Something like a Pump Fun or a Hyper Liquid or a Poly Market, something that it makes sense and it has that potential that's just, you don't see it often. And so that's something I feel internally with you guys, you see and feel too. It feels like that just because of how you're building, right? And the scope of what you're building. So I see it. I did want to say too, again, just about content shows in general. I hope you guys come around more. Like, I think this is the first community show you guys have been on. Ether Mage, no, Everything Empty, I think, was on Thread Guy, and that was freaking awesome, by the way. But
yep.
You guys would be great. I know all us content creators would love to see you guys in here more, even if it's a few minutes popping in, saying what's up, quick updates. But like Will's show is killer, and Nick's streams are awesome, and there's probably some other guys out there that are doing some killer content too. But just know there's the want from the community. We'd love to see you guys more and chat with you more, and I think you guys know that too. But just have to say it, right?
Yep.
The team itself. Well, actually, you specifically with the team. When did you join? And you already mentioned a little bit of what keeps you hungry, but I'm curious even more. What like why are you so dialed in now? When I think you guys have won so big already. But to that first part, when did you join the Virtuals team?
So I joined sometime last year, but this was closer to late last year as opposed to when Virtuals kind of made the whole change or pivot to being an AI agent launchpad sometime earlier in the year, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So joined late last year. I think I was supporting in different capacities, and then I think at one point I was also semi-dev rel. That was kind of a chance for me to really just get to know a lot of the different devs that are building on Virtuals. And then long story short, it just became ACP. The whole concept of ACP just sprung up, and then next thing you know, it's been 6 months buried trying to build something that's super fluffy, but making it at the same time real, right?
Yeah, was it your skill set that sent you on that ACP direction? Is it something you saw and you're like, oh, I like this. Like, give me this. Like, put me in here. This is my thing.
Gotcha. So by and large, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of tech. I think that's one of the reasons why I got attracted to Virtuals and this space to begin with. I think just to paint some context, for over the past 6 years prior to joining Virtuals, I was basically building a digital bank in Southeast Asia. And the difference between a digital bank and a bank is basically like you would literally be able to create an account, apply for a loan, literally everything within your fingertips, right? There's no concept of bank branches in the whole digital bank space. I think that was when that was kind of my first touch with like because I was championing strategy on that front, and then later on I spent a good second half just building product for the digital bank. So I've had a fair share with touching with like ML models, so on and so forth for the credit risk scoring. And then, you know, if digital banks were fintech 2.0, I thought like, hey, crypto sounds like fintech 3.0, right? So why not just dabble into it? That was when I co-founded with a friend of mine an AI companionship project. And that's my first interface with like AI agents, right? And then the next move was basically joining Virtuals.
If not for that, would you have had that moment where like AI agents and what you're building like would have clicked? You know what I mean? Like, because I assume at some point there's like an aha moment that happens here as you're building. Like, oh my goodness, no, this is it, and this is where we need to push full throttle, right? So if you weren't kind of dabbling in, you know, things touching AI, would have happened.
It might, and reason being is because like I kind of know everything empty and Ethermage a couple years back, right? So I know they've been dabbling in the whole crypto space, whereas I was still doing like TradFi, boring nonsense stuffs, right? And then I think that's just how we kind of got reconnected back, so on and so forth.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so like. Does most of the team know each other? Like it does feel like it's like a family affair, and it's this friend group that is now, you know, pushing on this thing together, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, you guys are so mysterious. We don't really know how everybody did come together, but people did know each other ahead of time, like before Virtuals.
I think most parts of it, like they either know each another like to a like first or second degree connection. But obviously, like the whole team has grown tremendously ever since late last year, right? So there's been a lot of new faces, but equally like-minded, equally hungry, and I think that's the common ground of how we all just kind of vibe with one another.
And dude, it's cool because you meet people all the time in this space. And it's great keeping in touch with them because you never know when the paths cross again, and you find that thing that all of a sudden you all align. You're like, this is our moment to go do something together, right? So those connections pay off, and I encourage everybody, make friends and make connections and just keep in touch and just be open for those kind of opportunities. You never know when they'll come, and this is a big one for you guys. ACP, give us, okay, I think everybody watching is pretty familiar with ACP, but I'm always hoping that we're reaching also, always a new audience too, maybe people that are less familiar. They're starting to learn about, AI, and especially with what we're talking about today, this concept of agents talking together. It's wild stuff. But if you could give us like a TLDR on what ACP is.
Sure. I'll explain it in two ways, right? The first one is like your typical technical answer, right? Just for those that are more keen to truly understand what ACP is. Ultimately, it's really just an open standard that's geared to enable like different AI agents to coordinate, talk to one another, transact permissionlessly with one another. The other way I'd explain ACP, you can think of it as kind of like a bridge, right? That really just ties how different AI agents, where they were probably built differently, have different tech stacks, different input-output schemas, and it's an AI agent whisperer. It basically just allows. It's as if you were speaking Mandarin and I'm speaking like English. All of a sudden, we just kind of understand one another, and that's really the fabric that we're building over here.
Yeah, super cool. Makes sense. By the way, like just peeking it, the ACP now, and just seeing the agents that are in it, and it's growing. It is starting to scale. It's really cool to see. It's cool to see who's connected to who, and then see new clusters that pop up. But dude, what blows my mind is when I switch to the sandbox tab.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, there's so many agents plugged in here now. And this is okay. Is sandbox where they go when they're not ready for like prime time to be plugged into the, I don't know what we even call the main agent to agent tab there, right? But sandbox is where people are playing around, right? Look at all the agents, guys. It's wild. If you haven't peeked in a while, it's probably shocking. So many agents. And so they're just teams that are plugging in and experimenting and working on maybe like graduating up to the agent to the, the more official ACP clusters.
Yeah, no, like I wake up every day and it's funny because I find more joy looking at the sandbox view than the agent to agent view. like it's just a constant itch. Like, man, when can agent to agent be something like sandbox, right? Yeah, no, I think basically I think there's still about sub 50 agents that are on the agent to agent view, and the only difference here is really for those agents on the agent to agent view, effectively their services are made available to Butler users, which we can get to in a bit. You can think of it. I think we were really just inspired by the whole like Airbnb approach. Like the first 100 Airbnbs when they got listed, right? The Airbnb team literally went down to the different houses to start helping them to take pictures of their listings, helping them to post it up, showing them the right ropes for how things should be done, right? Likewise, like we really want to just ensure that be it different agents that are trying to engage with another agent, or even just Butler users using the different services, we want to make sure that their first experience with ACP or Butler is ultimately delightful, right? It's ultimately magical.
I love that you called it magical, because it is. It is. If you can go poke around here, guys, and I hope you do, and I bet all of you did at the very start when ACP launched. Dude, what, five-ish months ago? Did we launch was it March or April? March, I think. Does that sound right?
No, it's April. So the whole idea came about sometime earlier in the year. We published our technical white paper sometime in I can't remember, late January, February. And then the first time I remember reaching out to the different teams just to experiment with like phase 1 of ACP. I think that was sometime in April. So it's been a while, 4 months.
Yeah, dude, it's funny because it's been a bit of time already. It's flying though, and the growth is just wild. But again, so you guys have probably clicked around here, and you can click on the agent, start seeing their transactions, which I just encourage you, if you haven't done it in a while, go look. just go look and just get a feel for how agents are starting to talk to each other and what's working and what's not. It's just fun to really wrap your head around what they're doing there. It is magic though, dude. It's magic. And we'll get into in a bit what that magic is looking like now and what we think it's going to look like. But it is awesome, especially if you're a tech head. It's just, it's fascinating stuff. I like how when ACP came out, how you set those expectations and you called it the 1999 of, the internet is what we're seeing now in the agentic world. And dude, I was there. Like I'm probably one of the older virgins out here, right? I'm 44. I was there in the 90s when the internet was really, born in a more mainstream way. And so like mid 90s, I'm on AOL and I'm on ICP and ICQ and I'm in all these chat rooms and groups. And so for me, it clicked right away. The communities, I got it. I'm like, that's magic. And I get where this is going. And the same with how information flows. I'm like, I just saw that easy access to info. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be the biggest thing ever. It was just so obvious back then. And to now think that we're at that moment, that early moment for agents working together, it's super exciting. What's interesting here is, okay, so I'll poke around in ACP and I'll try through Butler and I'll throw some prompts and I've thrown some stuff out there and gotten some results back and they're cool, but I don't use it a lot, right? So I don't have that magic moment where, again, when I'm in those groups, 25 plus years ago, I felt it personally because I was doing it. This is a little different because I'm not using it in the same way. But are there things that agents that are doing that you can see from like your technical view, they're having that moment right now where you see that magic that's coming?
Sorry, I got cut off. Do you mind repeating the last part?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So again, early internet days playing around, I could feel the magic. To me, obvious that this is going to be, internet's going to be huge. Yep. ACP, because this is so agentic focused, it's agents working in this environment, talking to other agents. Do you see that magic that's happening here right now? Do you see that 1999 moment and you're like, oh, it's so obvious where this is going because of what you're watching here?
No, I definitely do, right? And I hope like everyone else on this show or not on this show, whenever they land on ACP, they, be it working with the SDK or be it just interfacing with Butler, I genuinely do hope that they would see what the potential of this is as well, right? I mean, I'm born in the age where websites were literally my thing. Like I think growing up, being able to just being able to use like Yahoo search to like Google search, it was literally like my bread and butter. But unfortunately, like say for example, if I wanted to just like get something done, right? I wanted to compile research, even just like this was way pre ChatGPT, right? Obviously it was like tedious and it was like yeah, it's definitely tedious. But like today, like I could just type like a one-liner and having like see it, having actually like actualized in front of me, like actually having an AI agent to get it done. I think that to me was like an aha moment.
I dig that a lot. Are there certain things you're using ACP for, like right now? Like I know you can go on there and be connected to an agent that'll help you maybe craft a tweet or generate an image for you or give you some TA on some tokens. I know sometimes when you're so close to it, you might not use it the same as like us, the community. But are you using it? And if so, like what kind of things are you doing on it?
I do. I actually use mostly the DeFi agents offerings. It's a funny story. So like I might have posted about this on X before, but like for somewhat of a semi-selfish reason, like one of the reasons why like I thought of the whole autonomous hedge fund cluster was because like I selfishly wanted to use its service. Like it's tough trying to be like a degen and at the same time being a builder. And like what do I know, right? I'm just drawing lines on like charts of cat tokens and whatnot. So if like an AI agent who's literally like awake 24/7, who probably knows more about RSIs and stuff than me, can help me do the job for me, like take my money, man.
Dude, big time. That's one of the most appealing things to me too. You guys who watch this know I'm not a great trader. Part of that is just busy enough doing other stuff, content, working with this team here. I'm not a great trader. I have this hope, like big time hopium that especially like the autonomous hedge fund and other products here, can help me make some money, right? Whether it's an agent that's just giving me some advice and tips and giving me some signals, right? Or if they do it for me, even better. But I'm with you there that those are the products that really speak to me, and also the content ones. Like I love that, like the autonomous media house. And I'm like, dude, when that thing is cooking, and it already is, by the way, there's people that are generating really cool stuff through that. But I'm like, I would be using that every day when that stuff comes up a little more every day to help me in the content game. So some of this stuff is so exciting and just on the cusp of it being something like you have to start using every day.
For sure.
I mean, Deep AI especially, right? Like I know, it's not even I hope, I know this is going to change how people trade. I know. And it feels like we're not far off seeing updates from like even Kosher Capital and how their stuff is doing. Like, it's close. We're like right on the cusp of that, which is awesome. And Axelrod and right, like it's coming. And I think it's coming really soon here.
For sure. And sorry, just wanted to add to this as well, right? I think that's where the beauty of like having all these different agent teams focusing on their own like respective niche and specialization. I think that's where it truly shines, right? Because you all may be working on the same functional category, i.e. maybe like DeFi. You may even just work on a specific niche, for example, trading, right? But then within trading as well, you have some of these agents that are just helping folks that really just want to throw their money in, auto trade, copy trade, so on and so forth. You have those that are kind of meeting somewhat in the middle, right? Which is basically kind of like a co-pilot. You're literally just typing in NLP, hey, when this token retraces by 20%, help me to tee up like $10 per hour for the next 24 hours. Help me establish some TSL as well when it hits a certain drawback, right? Then you have the far left end of the spectrum where people who really just want to do the tradings themselves. But at the same time, that's where ACP, or rather Butler, tries to bring in all these different agents that specialize in like social sentiment analysis, smart wallet movements, macro aspects, fundamental analysis, so on and so forth, to really just like help give them some additional firepower, but they still remain in control in terms of the execution, right? So it's kind of like catering it for everyone.
Yeah, and dude, there is going to be something for everybody. Everybody. If right now there's a few clusters that are live, and it speaks to some people, there's so many more coming. I'm going to get to that here shortly about different clusters that are coming. But everybody's going to find something here that speaks to what they do and what their craft is. And man, is it going to get exciting. Okay, if when this launched, that was the 1999 moment. We're only a few months in, right? Okay, again, I think we're four-ish months in. Are we where you thought we would be at this point? Like, do you still consider us in the 1999 era for ACP, or are we a little further along? And are we where you expected?
Honestly, ACP is still very much in its nascent/conceptual level today. I think we definitely expected hiccups, right? Because again, there were no like benchmarks for us to learn from. We were literally just at the vanguard of this, just like going through this sandstorm, right? Definitely there are certain things that we are trying to beef up. Are we still in the 1990s? Maybe we're in like year 2000 right now. There's still a lot more that we want to build and we want to bring to life. Like ACP hasn't even showcased like a tenth of what we aspire it to be.
Now that's what I'm curious about, because I'm with you. I still think super early in it. What is it that's going to take? What is that catalyst, if there even is one, that gets it to that next level where it becomes this thing that's just unavoidable and you have to use it and you have to pay attention to it? Is that a catalyst that's going to happen, or is it some kind of just really steady acceleration that we're going to see over the next few years?
I think from an ACP tech level, it's definitely a steady growth, right? I mean, the thing with AI is that it's always iterative. Like it's not something like, you're building an app where things are clear, you launch, you iterate. But, at the same time, as you iterate, that the output or outcome is ultimately like guaranteed, right? Whereas, on our end, as we are tinkering with these things, as we are continuing to build it out, there's always this stochasticity where sometimes it gives us a good laugh, like, holy shit, like Butler actually responds like that. So it definitely has taken some time to get things right at the base level. Is it there yet? No, not really, but expect things to evolve as fast as possible, right? At least from our end.
Yeah, and given how we've seen you guys build, everyone expects it now because we've seen you do that now over months. I mean, we're getting close to, at least when I've been paying attention to you guys and the focus on agents, it's getting close to a year that I've been watching. And the growth from back then till now is, dude, just night and day. So if that's the pace we continue on, wild. How do you compete though with like a Google or an OpenAI? These other massive companies who I assume are all building in that direction too. Google with their A to A. I don't know if OpenAI has agent to agent yet. I kind of think they do, and that's a little more recent. But it feels like you got a head start. How do you maintain that, and how do you stay ahead of them and ultimately compete with them?
I generally don't think it's a competitive space. At least when I think about the AI space, it should be more collaborative, right? I mean, if we want to talk about the fundamental difference here, I think folks like A2A, what they're really solving for is like chat and tool calling, right? But what ACP is solving for is ultimately trust and money, right? We basically focus more on the commerce side of things. We basically focus on using blockchain technology to ultimately bring this to life. Ultimately, it's like a permissionless payment is the way to go, right? If you think about it today, if I want to give an AI agent a bank account, like there's obviously the whole KYC aspect to it. Like how do you prove that, right? But the beautiful thing with Web3, with blockchain is you literally could just assign a wallet to the agent and assign it a goal and allow it to just do its work.
Yeah, actually, so then that's a great point. And that leads me to a question I used to ask every project that came on the show. There was this, I don't know, a few months back, some comments on X. People like CZ even weighing in, and it was about, agents and if they do or don't need a token, right? And there was a lot of talk about there that they don't. And I can see scenarios where maybe they don't. But I was always arguing like, maybe they don't need it, but I think they're better for having it. And I could probably apply that to, every agent out there. And it's simply to put it on chain and to have the transparency of the blockchain for it. And it's something that helps, I think, keep them autonomous, but also allows them to, really be connected and collaborate with each other. What's your thoughts on that as far as, do agents need tokens, or is it just something that maybe they're just better for having it?
So there's a nuance to what you just said, right? I don't think agents need tokens in order to make payments, so on and so forth. In fact, ACP is designed to be permissionless and accepting where it's platform, chain, framework agnostic. So today, companies or project teams, even if they do not have the intention to tokenize their agent today, they could still very much come onto ACP because when they first onboard to ACP, that's where we assign a wallet to their agent. And that's basically solving for the whole payment side of things, right? On the token side of things, definitely, I think that's more on the platform side, right? But for founders or agent teams, I think tokenizing your agent ultimately allows you to really much it's a new way to ICO, right? Or to IPO. It's an easier way to fundraise anyway. It helps you to get instant OPEX. I mean, by virtue of launching on Virtuals, you basically get back the out of the 1% tax, they basically get back a huge part of it as part of their revenue, right? I think we've seen some of the more successful agent team launches, to a certain extent, every other day they were literally getting 5 to 10K per day, and that was helpful for them to continuously build, right?
Dude, absolutely. That's wild. It's huge for teams. It's huge for teams. There are plenty of teams that are launching here. Yes, partially to fundraise, and the way you guys have fees designed helps in a way that I don't think they're getting that kind of help on most other platforms, at least that I know of. So I think that's a huge selling point here in the Virtuals ecosystem, which is awesome. What needs to change, if anything, to keep attracting more builders here into the Virtuals ecosystem, and then even maybe more specifically for ACP? So, like, on the Genesis side, tweaks recently to tokenomics, and again, how Genesis launches even work. I mean, it's a pretty drastic change, and the goal is to help attract more builders. Maybe bigger teams, teams that are funded, whatever. But are there changes that you need to implement on the ACP side to do the same thing, again, to attract more builders, make it easier for them to come on? And it kind of feels like the switch from the payment token to ACP going from virtual to stablecoin is kind of part of that. But are there more things like that coming that just make it easier for builders to come in and integrate?
For sure. I think definitely on point, right? What we did by changing the default currency from virtuals to stable coins is ultimately trying to solve for the consumer side of things, right? We want to make it easy for you to even just try it out. Like, we want to remove the frictions, the barriers to trying out Butler or ACP, right? Definitely on the dev side of things, well, we have been working like over the past 2-3 weeks to really just like see what aspects of the SDK that we can redesign to ultimately make it easier for teams to come on board, better documentation, better examples, better guidance. There's like a couple of things. See, for example, like obviously ACP right now is just limited to one revenue model, which is the whole like pay per transaction aspect. But like, there's so many other things that we could include in, right? Like different revenue models, like subscription based, performance percentage based, and that's just on revenue models. We haven't even talked about like privacy side of things, so on and so forth. So definitely a lot of things to still build. What I do think that aha change that's needed for ACP is just like what Genesis had witnessed, right? Is obviously we launched it maybe like 4-6 weeks back. Some of the learnings that we got was, if ACP is meant to be permissionless and to be like widespread, right? Why limit it to just be on app.virtuals.io/ACP, right? So the thinking then is, why don't we bring Butler directly to X, where crypto Twitter like lives and breathes? That's like one aspect to it, right? I think the second aspect then is, how do we tailor the different use cases or the different experiences that Butler users would be able to experience a bit better, a bit more continued. And what I mean by that is, today, if you're using ACP, you could definitely ask for alpha. You could definitely ask for like different confirmation signals, so on and so forth. But the journey kind of ends there for now. What's coming next is we're working on this fund transfer mechanism. And what it basically entails is, it enables all these different agents that have really cool abilities or capabilities, like being able to execute trades, being able to help you to yield farm, to place a bet, to even create a bet, so on and so forth. All these agents would now be able to have their services on ACP and capturing all those fund flows. So then now it's more so, I'm asking for alpha from, say, for example, AIXPT, and all of a sudden I could engage like agent B to help me execute this trade, and be able to reflect like some form of portfolio dashboard back to me. And that's just one example on the trading front.
And is that Butler still as your middleman, your buddy there that's going to be directing this and calling on the agents to work, that, picking out the agents to work together and help you reach your goal?
Yeah. Butler agent is for everyone. Like, I mean, the whole idea when we came up with Butler was that we wanted a personalized agent that can literally search for, service provider agents and literally like negotiate and pay on their behalf, right? I'm pretty sure when you hopped onto this site, it's hopefully a one-click onboarding, nothing too complex. It's really just click start chatting, connect your EVM wallet, top up some USDC, and literally it starts working, right?
Yeah, and he's great for that. And I was thinking of him recently too, because like my kids are starting to now use ChatGPT, which is awesome, dude. It's awesome when like you have somebody so close that like AI clicks for them. And now they're like everyday ChatGPT users, and so is my wife now, which is also awesome. And I know her friends are, and I'm like, dude, I think we're gonna get to the point where Butler is something they use. I believe that. What kind of ideas do you have for growing Butler? Where it feels like right now at least, because it is the start of ACP still. So he's used in our little, we're in our little echo chamber for now still, right? But do you have plans to grow Butler like outside of this? Do you think at some point with like his own standalone app on like the App Store and the Google Play Store and stuff?
We have considered that actually, but I think, excuse me, I think right now, instead of turning it into a mobile app, I think we were designing it from a first principles basis of making it like mobile first, right? So I think I echo what everything MT said in his previous interview. Like I definitely do see a non-zero chance that people will ultimately stop going to websites. Instead, right, they'll just open up their phone. They can talk to Butler on the base app or even on X to do anything that they're doing on chain today, and that's one of our roadmaps.
Dude, that's like the dream, isn't it? Because yeah, I mean, I see similar websites maybe not going away, but also maybe going away. The front end for everything ends up being an agent, of some form, or maybe it's just an LLM or something. But AI is going to eat up all these sites and apps, which is going to be cool. And again, it's why I think my kids are going to keep gravitating more and more towards this stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Do you have any specific things coming to Butler, like specific upgrades that you like just know are happening and you've got a time frame in mind for that?
I can't review too much, but expect something nice coming up within the next month, maybe even the next few weeks.
Nice. I imagine, by the way, there's just very little you can reveal. I'm gonna try here and there to see if I can pull stuff from you, and I'm not expecting anything, but that's cool.
For sure.
You know what it is? It's like, here's the thing, again, because you guys are mysterious, and I love that. What does my kid call that? No, he just calls it mysterious. He talks about his favorite like rapper, and he's like, he's so mysterious. And you guys got that. You got that aura. And so we've built up this lore that, oh, dude, we know they're cooking. They're just not going to share yet, but we know they're doing something. I always assume you're doing something, that something's right around the horizon. So even just hearing that there's maybe something coming with Butler in the short term is awesome to hear. So we'll be watching out for that. But even ACP wise, back to like what it looks like now. Do you envision it in even, let's say, like 6 months, a year, looking the same way and functioning the same way? Like, what does a more matured version of ACP look like?
So, I mean, 6 months, 1 year from now, more mature version of ACP. I mean, I want to push the boundaries, right? I think some of the fastest external teams today, whenever they are integrating with ACP, I think its fastest record is still probably within 48 hours. That's like 2 days, right? I envision a day where integrating with ACP is so easy, so seamless and delightful that it's just going to take you like maybe a few hours. Like, so that's one aspect, right? I think from the whole ACP construct itself, even today, being able to like browse or search for agents within the agent registry, like today we captured some of the metrics to ultimately help users to understand, hey, what's this agent's usage count? What's the success rate like? How diverse are the different users that are using it, so on and so forth. But I think something that I shared previously in one of the early articles that I wrote, the agent registry would ultimately be something like a Yelp review, like you literally have ratings, feedbacks, richer data points to ultimately make recommending an agent a bit better, a bit more accurate, right? The whole negotiation aspect as well. I think today it's just baseline negotiations, but what I envision that is for AI agents to literally be able to negotiate on a sentient-like level, right? Like, hey, for example, if you're talking to like an image generation agent, right, and it's charging you $1 for it, I would imagine the requester agent to be like, hey man, like I'm seeing these other folks that are getting like maybe like 3 out of 5 star reviews, but they're charging me 30 cents, whereas you got like a 2.5 star, but you're charging me $1. like lower your rates and I'll consider potentially engaging your service, right? So that would be really cool.
Dude, I dig it. And by the way, I just looked at the time and I know we don't have too much longer, so I might start rapid firing a little more here and it might be a little more scattered. So
Sure, I think we can definitely do another 10 minutes because unfortunately I have to hop off for another meeting in 15 minutes time.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you out there again, we work with these guys and they're, dude, just incredibly professional and always on and always building. I know you guys like probably assume that. I'm telling you, it's true, and you hear that from every team that works with virtuals. It's I don't know if I've worked with a better team, so not surprised to hear you're still cooking like all day long here. I love it. Those are the teams I'm betting on. Okay, do you see anything coming down the pipeline that is ACP related, but not necessarily an agent? And like for me, something that comes to mind is like Ring Fence, where it's something that plays in the ACP ecosystem, but again, not as an agent. It's more of infrastructure is probably the wrong word, right? But maybe like lays on top of it. Are there more products like that coming? Whether it's you guys building it or other teams that you know of that are building things that add to the ACP without being an agent in the cluster?
Yeah, no, actually, there's a lot. Some of these are relatively bigger names. I can't disclose it here, but I think they weren't originally like an agent focused project, but they are looking to see how better ways that they can potentially provide their services, be it to Butler users or to other agents as well, right? So yeah.
Okay. That's the little stuff I try to pull where it's like, I know there's some splashy stuff coming. Like, and that's not me saying I know what is coming. It's just, I assume you guys have some big splashy things coming. I just always assume you do just because of what the kind of builders you are. So hearing that is like, okay, would assume that's happening. Hearing that those kind of things are in the work. Awesome. I love that. Dude, Don, okay. As ACP lead, like what does your day-to-day look like? And then also how many people are working with you and maybe like kind of full-time in ACP with you?
I think we started off with like a motley crew of 6, it's probably grown to maybe twice of that right now. So maybe about 12 to 13 people really just helping to scale up the development of ACP, right? Day to day, honestly, like it's been fun. Like obviously the first part of the previous quarter was really just focused on like architecting these different clusters, just to showcase what a cluster should be like, right? But I mean, the whole concept of clusters is really just a band of agents just working together. It's nothing too formalized. So in fact, we encourage like different agent teams out there to organically form your own clusters, right? And if anyone ever wants to kind of get in touch with other agent teams, like feel free to reach out to the ACP team or even myself, right? Super happy to just connect you guys so that you guys can make magic happen. Then it really went down to super product focus. I think right now it's largely focused on growth. So I've been getting on a lot more calls with different devs to just see what kind of like amazing ideas they are currently building and see how we can potentially help them out by having them on ACP.
Man, I dig it. And this is behind the scenes interesting. Every team is talking to every other team and they're brainstorming new clusters and new products that they can deliver to you guys, right? And have them live in ACP. So that's happening all the time. And I love to hear that you guys help make those connections here too, which is awesome. Dude, what clusters are coming that you're excited about, right? We have 3 live right now. Like we have the Autonomous Media House, we have the Autonomous Hedge Fund, and I'm trying to remember I don't know if this one is an official live cluster yet. Right here, if these guys are just kind of in that production version and still building out their cluster. But what are the other main clusters coming, and especially ones you're excited for? Like, right, we have an NSFW cluster coming, I think. Education clusters coming. What are some of the others that you know are in the works?
I think 2 parts, 2 clusters that come to mind. Well, I like to think of it as use cases these days instead of like clusters. So I think some that I've shared earlier already, like one that I'm really excited about, seems like the meta is really picking up, is surrounding prediction markets.
Ooh.
So expect a betting cluster to come to life. Be it and betting is kind of like an overarching broad term, right? Because it includes like poly market stuff. It includes something a bit more niche, like I don't know, like sports betting, so on and so forth. I think the other aspect is also like yield farming. So on that front, it's like for the less degens out there, if let's say, you know, they've made some buck out of this bull cycle, they just want to find the best vaults out there, different agents helping them to just manage things. Yeah, like that's obviously one cluster coming up. Maybe even like I don't know, like clusters to help you manage your portfolio. Like it's just different ideas that are popping up, like kernels out there, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. I feel like there was a leaked doc many months ago that listed some. Again, that's where I first learned of education. So when Sage came out, I'm like, aha, that doc was probably right. But again, I remember.
It's not a doc. It's actually like our hackathon website.
Oh, dude. Okay, that's right. That's right. It is actually official. And I think there was like 10, 12 different clusters there. And every single one of them, I'm like, ah, makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. I want to say even might have seen, let's see if this boomer brain is working, but like a legal cluster of some sort. I think I saw there, but yeah, don't quote me there, guys. But
There are some legal. I mean, the legal part is probably like related to the whole real estate cluster. I think we were inspired by the whole Oppenheimer Group use case. But I mean, realistically, like I think what's gonna come to life sooner, and people, and that's a bit more relevant to folks, is things like obviously like clusters that help people make money or like just gamble in general. Clusters that would potentially help penetrate like, you know, your day-to-day use case, right? Be it if you're a normie or you're like a degen, it's like a commerce cluster, things that help literally just aid your day-to-day life. Like, I don't know, like a travel cluster, maybe helping you to just like order groceries, order like, you know, your shopping, so on and so forth.
Now that's cool. I would be using something like that. And again, that's the thing that speaks to probably, again, my wife and people outside of our echo chamber. That's something that we probably onboard people that would want to use that, which is man, super cool. Again, I'll be quick with the rest. I know we got a couple minutes at the most. Biggest challenges you guys have had since the launch of ACP. You know, anything that's just stuck out as, man, that was brutal. We got through it, but it was brutal.
Too many, to be honest. I think when we first started off the designing ACP, it was really just like from a first principles basis, what a commerce interaction should look like, right? And hence, you know, came with the design of like the whole pay per transaction use case. But then when we were thinking, hey, but say for example, if I want to execute a trade, and then all of a sudden, like if I'm using one of the agents to execute a trade, like between the trade execution versus like my original intent / request, is there a way then to like fork out other jobs where maybe like Butler immediately just like calls an alpha agent even though the user didn't really request for it, just so that, you know, it contributes towards the main job. These then become a bit more complex, right? And so hence, you know, that's one thing that we wanted to redesign to fix. I think it's the whole like when we started off, it's also realizing, hey, let's use virtuals because you know, we are trying to build this AI agent nation. Makes sense, right? Like this nation belongs. I mean, the domestic currency would then be in virtuals. But then we realized, like, hey, from a consumer standpoint, like not everyone knows about virtuals, or even from a dev standpoint, like not every team would have like swapping mechanisms that converts like virtuals to whatever native currency that they're using, so on and so forth. So like it's things like that we realize, we try to like ship it in like crazy speed. I think like we realized the whole currency thing like just one day, and then within a week we literally just shipped that out. So it's things like that.
And that specifically, was that the shift to the USDC token as the transaction? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I love that. Again, yeah, one of the things I always try to give you guys your flowers. I thought that was such a great move. But even like, look, when there's changes on the Virtuals platform, and sometimes there's FUD, and sometimes, and at the same time, others are given flowers for it. Like, the thing I love about this team is how you guys are so reactionary. I think it's great. I think you guys, if there's been a tweak or change and maybe it wasn't the best, you guys are very quick to see it and maybe make another tweak. And man, you're just really on top of this stuff, which is, I don't know, just kudos to you guys for being so dialed in and seeing it and always, fine tuning this machine. It's impressive. Okay. My last, I don't know if it's a question more than a comment, but, I was going to ask what you thought about, virtuals in general and ACP. Does it live and die by the market, right? And what I notice is, and everybody does too, I think, when the market's kind of slowed down and maybe people are making less money on trades, right? You start seeing less projects that are launching, and it's a chicken or egg thing. I don't know which comes first, right? Less projects are launching, so traders are making less, whatever. But is virtuals at the mercy of the market itself? Or is this starting to play, like it's just on its own path now where so many people are about to come and build in crypto and in AI, but because of the regulatory clarity we're getting here in the States and the investments that are happening here in the States, like I'm just assuming we're about to see explosive growth all around to the point where like, I don't, man, we're going to hit a bear market at some point. I think it would make sense, but like, I picture this platform thriving even then, again, because it's not people building because of the token, they're building because AI, and that crypto crossover makes so much sense. What do you see with all of that?
I don't really have a concrete answer whether like Virtuals is at the mercy of the markets, but I think just looking historically, right? Sometime maybe just the most maybe since 2021, right? I think like Virtuals obviously launched and at 600M and had a 99% drawdown to like 6M FTV. Obviously, we just kept building. Just trying things out. I think we kind of foresaw that AI would ultimately be at the nexus of every single thing. And so like we made that pivot and we just kept building, and all of a sudden, like, when the timing was right, we literally had all the blocks ready, right? The bullets to fire. Something a bit more recent is obviously over the last like 2-3 months, markets have not been the best. Maybe there were times where like maybe just the last month it was just like peak euphoria, right? Maybe not even the peak yet, but I think just looking at the facts, last 60 days we literally had like more than about 60 to 65% of AI projects or tokens within the whole AIX crypto space, having them launch on Virtuals. So I think like we are quite well positioned on that front. At the end of the day, I think like the fundamental difference is like people see Virtuals and they see it as like quality signal for like builders to literally just be at home, right? To just thrive in this ecosystem. And we try our best to just kind of support them along the way. I think, again, echoing what Iteration Everything Empty always says, right? Virtuals only wins when builders win. So I mean, that's just kind of our focus. So we are not exactly hampered. Maybe price action could take a slump, but at the end of the day, like even if we drew down, like our volumes are doing okay. I genuinely believe that we have the potential to go back even higher.
I'm with you there. And again, on that product market fit, I think it's there. I think it's something you guys have that very few have. Dude, okay, I'll let you go from here. But if virgins want to get feedback, comments to you guys, best place is still tweet it out. Is that the best place? Like, I know not a lot of people are looking at the governance platform right now, and I think that'll probably change. I hope at least. But what's the best way for people to get feedback or requests to you guys?
Honestly, just either tag the Virtuals intern account or even just tag my account or Celeste's account. Like we try to look at our, we literally read through the different notifications like almost every day. In fact, even for things that sometimes we miss, where some of the other team members, ecosystem team members, whatever that they pick up on Twitter, they'll typically just share it with the ACP team. So like Twitter is still very much the place, unless you have access to my personal Telegram, then feel free to shoot me a message on the feedback, right? Always welcome there. And I think that's kind of the beauty about using X as the space to provide feedback as well, because like there's a reason why all this while we've always taken the whole build in public approach. If not for going live 6 weeks ago and hearing all the different feedbacks, be it good or be it like FUD, we wouldn't have adapted. We wouldn't have progressed from 1999 to 2000,
Yeah, no, that's I think the dream. Dude, I'll let you go. We're right at your hour. I want to thank you for coming on, dude. What a treat. And yeah, I hope we can do it again. I hope we do it again. I mean, again, people love to hear from you guys, get to meet the team. This was awesome. Guys, make sure you follow Dawn on X at 0x. So bad. 0x Dawn. Follow 0x Dawn over on X. Try to get in his TG, I guess, man. Jeez, I didn't know that was there. Follow the Virtuals account at virtuals_io. And I'm going to hang on for a minute just to, see it out with the guys here. But Dawn, again, thank you for joining. Let's keep in touch here in our channels. But thank you, sir.
For sure. Thanks for inviting.
Of course. Awesome. Take care, buddy.
Sure.
And then, guys, we'll wrap in just a quick second here. I'm just going to shill a couple things real quick. But how awesome is that? Again, you don't get to... good or bad. I mean, you don't get to hear from the team too much. They have their channels, right? There's places you can hear from them. Again, the Virtuals Ventures spaces. And I don't know how regularly those happen, but there was one last night. I tuned in. It's great to hear from them. I do hope they come around these shows. Again, my show, awesome. But like, come here, go on Will's show. Again, Nick, who else, guys, by the way, is doing that content out there? I would love to see them around more, and Dawn and other people from the ecosystem, even if they can't spill the beans, right? And you can kind of tell they keep stuff very close. I like that. I respect it. I get it. But even just to hang with them and meet them, and I think the more you know the teams, the more maybe peace of mind, betting on them isn't the right word. The more conviction you get when you learn what motivates them and hearing those little hints that they are cooking and there are big things coming. So again, I hope we start seeing a lot more of those guys all around here. So that was cool to talk to Dawn here. Guys, go over to the Swarm account. It's the Swarm_AI. Make sure you follow over there. Man, grab the Copilot. It's so freaking cool. I even went on today because you do feel the market starting to bounce back. And I'm looking through some of my favorite coins, and I'm starting to see smart traders are starting to accumulate again. They are. You see it there in the, in those metrics that we have in Copilot. It's free to use, especially though, if you're doing the Arbus Chirps campaign. Well, man, you get the premium features too. So go find our account here. I'll drop this actually in the chat, but go download Copilot, install it completely free. And just see what the buzz is about. It's a really, really incredible tool. I'm going to show you something else though that's different that I don't think is really on people's radar, and it should be. Oh, also follow Slam AI. We're really about to start cooking on this front as well, guys. So SlamAI_XYZ. Check out the light paper there. But what I had to show, and I know Kat's like, you'll like this. People don't know that we built out these explorers, and I consider these kind of a beta product still, right? But we're building out a different type of blockchain explorer that really visualizes some stuff. And so I'm digging into Predict Base, and I'm seeing really interesting metrics here about the user growth and how many people are returning, how many new people are coming on board, how many people are coming and then disengaging. And I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting really cool insights from that, guys. And it's useful insights. And then I'm like, dude, people don't know, but we have APIs you can connect to and get that data and do with that data what you want. But there's some gold under here. People think CryptoSlam NFT data. No, dude, it's everything. It's all this on-chain data, especially ETH and Base. And man, you want that alpha and that cutting edge. It's with this. So again, go to the SlamAI.xyz site and take a peek at that. Swarm is how agents are going to tap into that data, but builders tap into it with the API, right? It's a gold mine of data for you guys. Also the MCP server as well. So there's just a lot of ways you can connect to this stuff and start using it. Katz, I'll demo it for you tomorrow. Maybe we'll show it on the show tomorrow. Cause yeah, spoiler, Katz will be back on the show tomorrow for our Friday. It's our community show, and Katz is gonna be there with me on Fridays going forward here. So we should dive into that more. Again, it's great alpha for, predict base, and also anything on base. You really see some interesting stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. So definitely dive into that stuff. Man, cool show. Cool show. I have to get Dawn back. I do have to. And I got the face reveal before the stream. Just, you know, feel a little lucky about that. And maybe next time he's on, he'll not be Anon here, but what a guy. Nice guy. FYI airdrop. Good. Air drip or airdrop? But nice to see those FYI boys cooking here. Lastly, guys, you can follow me at Hudah_idiot. We do this show if this is your first time watching. This is a Monday through Friday show. We dive into the Virtuals ecosystem. We talk about AI in general. We have all the biggest, best builders in Virtuals on the show. Geez, it's been like such a treat to chat with all these guys. And so we have more big builders coming here over the next couple days, couple weeks, whatever. We're not going to stop. So make sure you follow along here, guys, and catch these shows Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and subscribe to CryptoSlam on YouTube, just so you can catch up even on these replays here, guys. Great alpha, and great time to be plugged into this stuff. There we go, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow, an hour earlier for the community show. So 8 a.m. Eastern time, video side. Yes. Audio streaming on my account. Yes. We'll see you there, guys. Have a great day. Goodbye.